Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for watching this video.
I have an interesting horror story for you this evening. Believe it or not, I picked up a newspaper from May 3, 1887. It is completely authentic and totally original. I got it at a flea market earlier this year for $5. Just unbelievable what antiques are still out there to this day in 2024. So let us dive into this anthracite horror story. It comes to us from the Times, Philadelphia, Tuesday morning, May 3, 1887, and it's titled Fierce Flames in a Mine. A coal breaker and surrounding property destroyed with immense loss.
Wilkes-Barre, May 2. The little town of Sugar Notch, 8 miles from here, was today the scene of a fierce and destructive fire. Close by the town stands the Mammoth Breaker, where the coal hoisted from number 10 mine of the Lehigh, the Wilkes-Barre Coal Company, is prepared for market. It is a vast structure, 250 feet long, 100 feet wide, and at its highest point 80 feet high. Near it stood a large boiler house, engine rooms, fan house, oil house, etc. While on the hillside, 300 yards in the rear, is the mouth of the mine, a steep slope descending 700 feet into the earth. About 9 o'clock this morning, fire was discovered in the lower end of the breaker, near the railroad track. A high wind was blowing, and in half an hour the vast structure was one mass of fire, which spread with great rapidity and destroyed every one of the surrounding buildings, with all their valuable engines, machinery, boilers, etc. While the head house was burning, a carriage standing at the head of the slope broke loose and rushed all blazing down the steep slope. It set fire to the props and timbers in the mine, and soon all the underground workings were on fire, and up through the mouth of the slope rushed vast volumes of dense smoke and flame. By 11 o'clock, nothing was left of the great buildings but heaps of blazing ruins. The loss to the company is enormous. On the surface alone, the loss is over $100,000, with only $30,000 insurance, while the damage to the mine cannot be calculated. The only way to put out the fire is to fill the mine with water, which will be done as quickly as possible. But it is feared that the colliery is utterly ruined. The breaker was built in 1870 and had a capacity of 1,200 tons per day. It was in this colliery, on April 23, 1879, a cave-in occurred by which 5 men were imprisoned alive and subsisted for 6 days on the carcass of a mule. During these 6 days, 500 men in shifts of 3 hours each were digging for life itself, and finally penetrated from the surface to the gallery in which the men were imprisoned and found them alive and well. The anthracite coal regions never witnessed so exciting an episode as this, and it is still recalled as one of the most wonderful events of coal mining.
And that's the end of the newspaper article. Whoa! That is a wild story. That is a fire, literally, straight from hell itself. So I'm sure that day started out like any other day. It was probably a beautiful, nice, mild Pennsylvania spring day in 1887. Whoa, there's a small little fire. Oh no, it caught part of the breaker on fire. Oh wow, these spring winds are kicking up. Now the whole breaker is on fire. Well, now the fire is growing in intensity and the winds are keeping up, and it's jumping from now the breaker to the other colliery buildings. Before they know it, the entire colliery is engulfed in flames. Can't get any worse, right? Oh no, look, the building on top of the slope is now on fire. Oh, there's a coal mine car that's made of wood. Everything's made of wood. The breaker, all of that. That's part of the problem too. And everything's greased with oil. So that coal mine car that's attached to the hoist has now caught fire. The line has now snapped due to the fire, and that coal mine car is a blazing inferno straight from hell. And it is rocketing down this slope at nearly terminal velocity, like something from Ghost Rider with Nicolas Cage. Flies down the slope. When it gets to the bottom, it takes out some timbers when it crashes, and that catches those timbers and props on fire, and before you know it, the mine is a disaster like no other. Unbelievable. If there was anyone down in that mine, they were like, "What is this?" For real. What an apocalyptic scene. The fire burned everything down on the surface, and now it has entered the mine 700 feet vertically under the colliery, and it's rapidly burning through the mine itself. That fire was determined to take everything out. It was like, everything's gotta go. It scores a direct hit at the bottom of the slope, and it has just set the mine ablaze. Like, what are the statistical odds of that? Unreal, man. Unreal.
I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty badass. It's pretty cool. That coal mine car just sent it.
So that had to have been an extreme fire underground for them to turn off the pumps and to purposely flood those workings to put that coal vein fire out. It was probably started from someone smoking or a teapot oil wick lamp. On a lighter note, they talk about the prior accident from 1879 when those men were trapped and they just ate the mule, obviously raw. Oh my god, because they were entombed, but they were rescued. Can you imagine that? Like having to kill that poor mule and then eat it raw. Oh man, that's rough. Believe it or not, I have read multiple instances of that happening where these miners were entombed and they ate the mules. Ugh. So it just goes to show you how dangerous the anthracite industry was for our ancestors. You could get smoked on the surface, you could get smoked obviously underground, and there was 1,001 ways to either get hurt or killed. If you were super unlucky, like these guys were, you could be dodging flames both on the surface and unfortunately underground at the same exact time. This surely was an interesting one to read about. Hopefully you enjoyed this little bit of local anthracite coal mining history. I know I did. Please let me know what you thought about this one. All right, see you later. Thanks for watching.